It's showtime, folks.
Happy wife, happy life is a real thing. Yeah, it's not just a cliche. Yeah.
Okay. I figured I'm only 2 years in. And I've already figured that out. I'm doing pretty good.
I've figured it out very quickly as well. Yeah. I think when you're married and I guess stuck with someone, like you don't, especially if you don't really see divorce as an option, then yeah, you have to figure that out real quick. So
Yeah. Yeah. We had a couple bumps early on because, being in our
everybody.
early 30s, yeah, we were just so stuck in our ways.
I was 25, man. I was already stuck in my ways for certain things. I had to unlearn things. That's fine. It's good though now because we've gotten stuck in certain ways together. I mean, because like this is like 19
Right.
years now, coming in June. So there's a lot of comfort in that having you both have your routine together. Yeah, it becomes actually like I'm glad we didn't have a kid to ruin that. Like it's really nice that we have that together. So
I can't see you having like a 15, 16-year-old. Although y'all would watch a lot, you'd have more excuses to watch even more movies than you currently do.
yeah, well, yeah, because one, I would be watching whatever they were watching, and two, I would be trying to educate them and encourage them to watch movies like we watch. That would be an interesting experiment. I'm sure there's another parallel universe, and that's probably a very interesting world. But I'm happy with the one I'm living in.
I think I do like now, on that note, I do like that we're basically a channel that's watched Singing in the Rain and then the most obscure stuff from who's the director of Halloween?
Oh, John Carpenter?
Yeah, we basically have two different extremes here.
Yeah, well, I've kind of done that intentionally in picking Singing in the Rain. I don't want to be. I didn't want to be a channel that there's a lot of channels that kind of like pick a lane in terms of the movie
Yeah,
genre that they do, and I wanted to make sure we didn't do that. And I don't think we've done that so far. Maybe even when everything we've done kind of works together, or the pieces connect. Like you can connect all the pieces together. I don't feel like you can connect this movie to anything we've done at
no,
all. And I kind of love that. I think it's great.
I mean some of the most fun ones I've talked about or that I watch ones where it's just who knows. Like if you watch the guys from Red Letter Media, they could talk about any movie they want. They could be some obscure crap from the '80s or whatever just won the Oscars. You have no idea.
I'm not saying I don't. Yeah, we're definitely not of that at that caliber. But I don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to
I mean,
be
I don't think
just.
we've fallen that far yet. I think we still got to go more of a more of a decline before we get down to that level yet.
With our 48 subscribers, only two away from Hydro Man Ran
We'll
Goes
see.
to Space. Yeah.
Well, and who's to say that all of their subscribers besides you and me aren't just bots? Who knows?
Nothing. I mean, technically, we're doing this for ourselves. The only people who really comment seem to be trolls, and I'm okay with that. So,
I feel like if
whatever.
you have trolls, you've kind of made it though, to some degree.
Trolls find what they want to find. It's okay.
They're giving us views. That's what matters for our content.
Yes, just like the Bible, we are content now.
Yes, thanks to Trump for just shoving my entire faith into content. I really appreciate that.
I can't remember which book it was. When he like misspoke, it was like two Ephesians or something like that is what he called it. It was something, and he was
Yeah.
speaking at a Christian university. Oh,
Yes.
his favorite verse in the Bible is an eye for an eye. Like it's like, but he's a defender of the faith. Yeah,
It's
I
like,
love it.
that was a warning, right? That wasn't an a order. It's
Yeah.
like it's like
I like
Probably
now that
won't
we've
watch.
referenced Trump and it's in a negative light, like I'm going to be able to like calculate like the second that everybody stops watching this video too now.
Oh yeah, 100%. Have you seen the new Roadhouse yet?
No, I think April is slightly interested in it because we both enjoyed the original one. So we're waiting. We will watch it.
Have you seen the memes from it yet?
No, I haven't really seen the memes at all from it.
Conor McGregor goes full Conor McGregor.
Okay.
It's the way he like his literal body movement is some of the funniest crap I've ever seen.
I don't know that he was in UFC because he was in UFC, right?
Conor McGregor?
Yeah. Or was
Yeah,
he a boxer?
he still is.
Okay, because I don't think he was in there whenever I used to like follow it. Because it was like,
Probably not.
was it George St. Pierre was kind of like the last like really big fighter that I remember coming up.
Yeah,
So I
when
don't
George
know
St.
that.
Pierre retired, probably a year later is when Conor got around.
Okay, yeah, because I didn't watch that many fights with George St. Pierre. So Conor McGregor was
Right.
probably coming up. I know the name, but I don't know that I've ever seen him fight. I've never really watched an interview. You know, George St. Pierre, like one of the reasons why I like him. I mean, he was in like my favorite Marvel movie too, as Batroc.
Yeah, he's Conor McGregor has probably made the most money from as a fighter. Or
Right.
he's probably the fighter with the most money. Like a lot of it came from that Floyd Mayweather fight.
Oh, okay.
He's got his own brand of liquor, and
Doesn't
just his
everybody?
personality. Everyone hates him and loves him. So obviously more people will watch him.
Oh, okay. They
He's
watch
that
him
kind of
hoping he
he's
gets his
funny.
ass kicked. Okay.
Yeah, and I'll admit he is funny as crap. If I can find it, I'll send you a video of his like best of whatever. He is hilarious. I will admit, even though he can be annoying and a douchebag, he is very funny.
So just as like a shit talker.
Oh yeah, but he does it. He does make it an art. Because there's one fight that he won against Jose Aldo, and I'm convinced to this day that it's because he was able to get in his head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he knocked him out within 13 seconds. Like he knocked him out quick, and I really think he just made him make a mistake and then just capitalized. But
So he's the UFC's version of Trump.
yes, the only difference is that Conor actually is skilled, and when you actually pressure him, it's real. But other than
Okay.
that, yeah, Trump.
So I guess we should do an intro.
We should do an intro.
I don't know how many minutes in we're in, but welcome to Hydro Man Ran. I'm Kevin. This is my cousin.
I'm Andrew. I'm sorry.
And no, you're fine. And we talk about movies and video games and stuff. Apparently a little bit of politics, but isn't everybody at this time of the year? So today we are covering the movie Singin' in the Rain, like we mentioned earlier. I don't know if I'm going to cut all that out now, so maybe we haven't mentioned it yet. I don't know. This is a 1952 film directed by both Gene Kelly and Stanley Donen. Gene Kelly is more of the director of the dance scenes than like the acting and the cinematography. It also stars Donald O'Connor and then the an extremely young Debbie Reynolds. Those are our three main actors in this. It is as a lot of movies are today. This is actually a nostalgia flick for its time because it takes place about 25 years before the film was released. It takes place around 1927 because they do reference the jazz singer in the film, so you kind of do understand the time frame. And then I think all but two of the songs were previously well-known songs. So this is a kind of a cavalcade of hits in this nostalgia film at the same time. This is the first musical that I guess we've done on Hydro Man Ran. I don't know, based on Andrew's reaction, I really he hasn't given too much away about how he felt about this movie. But given his reaction, we'll see if we'll do any more. This is one of my favorite movies. I think it's a beautiful, fun film. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. What's your general take, Andrew?
Yeah, no, I actually really did enjoy it. I like to not uh, do anything on like Letterbox or say anything beforehand, just because I like to just not make you wonder what I'm going to think going into it. I knew nothing about this movie, literally outside of just the tune of "Singing in the Rain," and even then, I just knew those words. I knew nothing else about it. And I actually didn't even want to look it up, so I just kind of went into it blind, which was very fun. I loved the it was very nostalgic for me in a way because I watched a lot of older movies growing up. So seeing like the old timey intros where it's just a colorful background with the names and all that was fun. The singing was very like really good. Actually, I I guess I just still have this kind of like bias in me where I just kind of assume that the older stuff is gonna have it is gonna age. But honestly, I felt it held up very well even today, and it's what 70 something years old now, 72,
52?
73.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
52.
he's
So
72
70,
years old.
72. Yeah.
I was wondering early, like almost from the very beginning, I was wondering why. Is it Lita or Lena?
Yeah, Lena is Gene Kelly's co-star, who
Right.
is not going to progress into the talkies very well. Yes.
No. I almost immediately I was like, she's not speaking like at the very beginning, and I leaned over to my wife and I was like, I bet her voice is complete trash. And then almost immediately you hear the cat claws against the chalkboard.
Well, I mean that
Like,
that's kind of become a bit of a cliche joke. I mean, I know Family Guy has used that joke before for silent actors moving into the talkies and things like
right.
that. So yeah, it is interesting how us today we know what the punchline is going to be because it's such a cliche ingrained in society, that joke.
It is
So
cliche, but you can't really fault it because obviously at the time
no,
it wasn't.
right, yeah, exactly. It's like watching the first yeah, the first of anything. You can't fault something
Mhm.
that has become a cliche. You can fault the
Right.
100th movie that steals from it, but you can't fault that first movie.
I think we talked about this when we discussed Scarface. Scarface, how so much of it feels tropey, but that's not its fault. It's just every other mafia movie, every other shooter movie took from it.
Oh yeah,
Um,
oh yeah, 100%.
and I can see how this had a lot of influence over a lot of musicals. I'm sure many more. I've seen a handful of them in my time, but there's a lot of the big ones I haven't seen.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm not super well versed in musicals. I really don't like a lot of modern musicals. I kind of like these golden age classic musicals. I do find I have a lot of fun with them.
I loved Donald O'Connor's character. I feel like in a different time, like maybe more today, he would be a really obnoxious, just a complete pain in the ass the whole way through. But I feel like he was the perfect amount of goofy
Hmm.
while still kind of keeping Gene together at the same time. He was, like his character is basically just an all around gentleman who's able to have a good time as well. I love and then him and the way him and Gene they it seemed like they had a lot of chemistry. I don't really know much about their background. Um, from what I can tell, they're obviously both very famous in their time, but I
Oh yeah,
know very little about their career outside of this movie. But they really seem like they had a lot of good chemistry together.
yeah. I would say Gene Kelly is, for his time period, he would be kind of I guess I'm going to say he would be kind of a Jackie Chan, and then you would have then
And
his
like a
counter
doing your own stuff kind of way.
and doing their own stuff, but also in his dancing style. Like if you compare it to someone like Fred Astaire, and Fred Astaire would be more comparative to like the Chinese like wushu martial arts, like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Like he's much more flowing, whereas there's a lot more energy and aggressiveness in Gene Kelly's dancing, which I mean, like I love. I think it works. I think I enjoy Gene Kelly a little bit more, and from what I've read, from what I've seen in documentaries and such, I think Donald O'Connor kind of adopted Gene Kelly's style for this film. Like that wasn't really necessarily his style, from what I can tell. And Debbie Reynolds wasn't even a dancer before this. Um, so
Really?
she learned everything on the spot beforehand. For the I mean, she's phenomenal in the film too. You know who she is, right?
I know I do, but I can't place it.
So you know who her daughter is? That's
Josh.
probably what that's probably what you would know her best for. Her daughter is Carrie Fisher.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so she died one day after Carrie Fisher died. Like they died a day apart.
Really?
hmm The cause of death was somewhat linked tentatively to Carrie Fisher's death, also.
That's that's really common actually. Um, a lot of time, like typically it's husband and wife,
Right.
but when just two people have a really strong bond, as I'm sure they had as mother and daughter, and just given their careers together, it's very common when one goes, the other one was holding on for that, and then they just kind of let go.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's very bizarre. I had no idea.
Yeah. Read up on that family history. I was doing a little bit of that. Like Carrie Fisher's mother-in-law or stepmom was Elizabeth Taylor at one point in time.
Mm.
Like it's just a very weird like Hollywood dynasty family there, and I didn't even realize that. Like her dad was like this huge pop star in the 1950s. So just
Did
very
that
interesting.
did her family history and like the kind of legacy have anything to do with her getting the role in Star Wars?
Um, I'm sure it had something to do. I don't know if it had to do with her getting that particular role, but it probably had to do with her choosing the career path that she did choose. And then
Oh, sure did.
probably some of the it probably also affected some of her addiction issues that she also had at the same time. Because her brother is also, or I don't know if he's alive or not. Carrie Fisher had a brother, and he was a like a director and a producer and did all that kind of stuff. I don't really know what he did per se, but back to Singing in the Rain. Yeah, I think the big three, like for me, it was really so. A few years ago, I rewatched this, and I think I'd watched it when I was a little kid, and I rewatched it as part of that push I did a few years ago to try to watch all of the AFI's top 100 films. And I think this is like number 10 or number 5 on the AFI top 100 list. They've come out with two lists. They redid the list about 10 years later, so I can never remember what place this actually has on it.
Right.
So I was trying to like rewatch that whole list and try to go through and make sure I've watched, the true classics, what people generally considered classics. And so I know I'd watched this as a kid. I barely remembered it, but I specifically remember from from watching this movie that my mom constantly sang that good morning song when me and my brother were getting ready in the morning, and she did it to like annoy us because we were not morning people and she was, and so she was singing it to try to get us up and moving. And it's this weird little thing, like this piece of nostalgia I have for this film, that came out, 30 years before I was even born. uh that this weird connection I have to this film, just yeah makes me love it even more, just thinking about that. And strangely, that is like my favorite musical number in the entire film is Good Morning. So
Mhm.
do you have a favorite musical number?
I think mine was when I, the name of it escapes me, but when they were doing, Gene was doing the thing where the teacher was like, was giving him those phrases. He was like,
Oh,
sending snakes, that kind of thing. Yeah,
Moses Supposes.
Moses. Yeah, Moses
Yeah,
supposes. That's it. Yeah,
yeah,
that one was my favorite.
that's
But Good Morning
what
was. I mean, they were all great.
Yeah, they
This is
were.
not one,
Moses
but
Supposes, I think, is one of the original songs. And original as like they weren't entirely original, but that one and then the one that O'Connor does, is it Be a Clown? I think that's the name of it, where he does all like the acrobatics and stuff, he backflips and all that kind of stuff.
what are you saying? Make them laugh.
Make him laugh. That's it. That's the song.
Yeah.
I think Be a Clown is like it's a- it's a it's a takeoff on a song called Be a Clown. I think that's what I got confused on. But those are the two original songs on
Yeah.
the entire thing. Which is weird that Singing in the Rain isn't even originally from this. It's from it's from a some other film or some other musical. I don't even know. Nobody even knows
Yeah.
anymore. It's from this as far as anybody is concerned.
I made a dad joke
Yeah.
at the end of the movie. As soon as it went off, I was just like, "It sucked. They were barely even in the ring." I couldn't resist. I was like, this is the lamest thing I'm gonna say, but I have to say it.
What'd your wife think of it? Did she enjoy it?
She liked it a lot. She was like, but it was funny because at the end, like, she was like, "Why did Kevin want to watch this?" And more of what she meant was, because like of like all the previous movies we watched, and she was like, "I don't understand how y'all are gonna talk about this." I was like, "Well, it's gonna be different, but we can still discuss it."
Yeah, I mean it's still a film. I mean it belongs in film history. It has a heritage and a lineage. For me, when I went back and watched it, one, yes, I remembered my mom waking me up to Good Morning, but two, also I could see, as a lover of martial arts films, especially Jackie Chan films, love Jackie Chan films, like I can see where, this and Buster Keaton really influenced Jackie Chan, which in fact my next pick is a Buster Keaton film too. So in two episodes we'll be watching The General by Buster Keaton. Um, so I mean I love these films probably because of my love of martial arts films. So I think there's
Mhm.
even for dude bro movie YouTube, channel. I think this movie, which I hate, but we're two bearded white guys talking about movies. We're in that dude bro man YouTube cinema rabbit hole. I think this still
We're
has
kind of
has a
hard.
definite place, and I think I think especially when I was younger, I probably didn't like musicals because I thought they weren't cool. And I think
Mhm.
I think this movie it's okay to have fun and just enjoy the pure joy and the, expertise level of craftsmanship that they are putting into this film.
Mhm.
Because I mean the dance numbers, I'm not a dancer, but I mean they're phenomenal. I mean what they're doing.
They're very impressive. They're the and and more to the point, it seemed like both of them were just doing it all themselves. Like it seemed like they had no help. They were just kind of cut loose.
Oh yeah.
And they like just the amount of talent that they had. Even I guess we just kind of expect movies from so long ago to be so much more simple and plain, but I was like, wow, they're really just kind of going for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean it was in y- this, I think this comes from a time and place where, you know, of true showmanship. And I'm not saying that movies like this don't exist anymore, but there was real talent being thrown on the screen, and they threw everything they had on the screen to entertain and to get, and to show like, okay, we've perfected this talent and we're going to entertain the hell out of you with it. We're gonna be the best damn thing you've ever seen.
Mhm.
Apparently, at the time, though, this one was apparently overshadowed by a film from a few years earlier that Gene had done called An American in Paris, which is really that's another really good fun one to watch. If you like this one, I would recommend that one. And it took this one. This one's kind of a bit of a cult hit. It took a few years for it to really build momentum and to really pick up the accolades and the appreciation that it has today.
Well,
But
I'm
I mean,
glad it
like
is.
I guess superficially, I guess there's not. I don't know if there's like a heavy theme or a heavy moral that we can take from this. Like The Hunt. Um, eh, it's just pure joy and pure just expertise on film. I think
It
that's
is. I
why.
mean, even the villain had a very simple goal, but it was still very very real. Like someone just trying to screw someone else over to take her career further. That's very real. It happens all the time. It doesn't need to be flamboyant and extravagant. Just something that people can actually relate to. And then the way they get back at her is also something very real and very very believable. And also something that I saw coming, which I'm sure was still new at the time, but I still loved it when it happened.
Yeah, I don't know if it was new at the time because it to me watching this, it felt reminiscent of certain like A Night at the Opera by the Marx Brothers, which is a movie another movie I love. So I don't know if that was entirely fresh, but it still worked perfectly for the plot, and it's what you wanted to happen. Like you wanted
Right.
that ending, even if it was tropey and cliched. Like you're invested in these characters, and you want that perfect Hollywood happy ending at the end. Like they've built it on that road. Um, and
There's
I have to
something to be said about a simple happy ending.
yeah, and I do have to say that even all these years later, the scene where they're trying to film um, sound for the first time is absolutely hilarious. And rewatching it, this is at least I know this is my second time, but probably my third time watching it was for this. And it reminded me of, did you watch Babylon yet? The Damien
I have
Chazelle movie? There's a scene
I
in
have
there where they're trying to record a sound movie. Like it's about everything turning into talkies is what that movie is about. And there's a scene that's very reminiscent of that where they're all freaking out and trying to capture the sound of everybody speaking and all of the hassles that ensued the first time. Really, really funny. Really love that scene. But we are almost out of time because I refuse to pay for Zoom. Um, so I guess before this episode shuts us off, before Zoom shuts us off, um, what do you think Papa would have liked this movie?
oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
easily.
that's
This
easy.
is a
Yeah.
this is probably one of the easier ones we've watched. I'm trying to think. I think maybe A Few Good Men would have been an easier call, but absolutely, this is an easy pick.
Yeah, I think yeah, absolutely. 100%.
And more importantly, one that Mima could also enjoy
Oh,
and would
Mima
enjoy
would
with him.
yeah, Mima loved this movie, I'm sure. Yes.
Oh well, I guess Babette's Feast is probably one that would be easier.
Yeah, I think on an intellectual level, he probably liked that one more, but this is probably one that he would have actually watched more often. Like this is one of those
Oh
movies
yeah,
that you would put on, every year or every 2 years just to watch and enjoy. So,
sure.
yeah. So you have anything else to add in our final 2 minutes of this recording? Anything
Um,
else about this movie?
Barbie got robbed.
About this movie?
Oh no.
Oh, are you just saying that the
I'm
musical
just saying
number
that
from
was
Ken?
good.
Let's save
Yeah.
talking about Barbie until we, maybe one day we'll do Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. And I think that'll we can do a good
That could
side
be
by
our
side comparison.
that could be our 500 subscriber special.
Sure. Yeah, you know what? When we get 500 subscribers, we will cover we will cover Barbie and Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. How about that? We'll find some other.
I will sleep on your couch for about a month.
Why?
Oh, my wife just said she just hates that movie.
What, Gentlemen Prefer Blonde or Barbies? Or Barbie? Oh, okay. Oh, my wife actually liked it. I thought it was not to give things away so people don't want to subscribe and we don't get our 500 subscribers. I thought it was kind of mediocre, but
Yeah. I thought it was nothing special.
no. Actually, you know what I'd really like to do for is we can do Gentlemen Prefer Blonde 9 to 5 and Barbie. I think that would be an interesting comparison.
And maybe we could throw in
Feminism
a couple
over that
episodes of
time span. So yeah.
We gotta throw in a couple episodes of She-Hulk in there too.
Sure, or Ally McBeal, whichever one you want to do.
Why not both?
Yeah. I'm not doing She-Hulk again. That was a fine show, but I'm not doing that one again. I don't hate it like other people, but no, I'm okay.
I never watched it. I just like to make jokes.
You should watch it because otherwise you're sexist.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Moses supposes his toes are roses, but Moses supposes erroneously.
But Moses, he knows his toes aren't roses, as Moses supposes his toes to be.